Happy Halloween and welcome to the Prumihimo YouTube channel. This video is about tricks and treats. The treat is this little bag tassel, or this one, or this one, or a variation of your own. And the tricks are what I'm going to share with you that I've developed over a decade of braiding so that you can make these very quick makes ready for Halloween. But they also include some great transferable skills which you'll be able to take further in your Kumihimo braiding. So what is it? You may have noticed on the high street that it's very on trend with handbags, as we call them here in the UK, or purses, as you call them in North America, to have detachable straps, lots of bright colours, so you can have different colours of strap, and also detachable pom-poms or tassels. So this is the Kumihimo version of that, all ready for Halloween with a bit of a spooky element to it. It's a really quick make, and I think that's important because you can make loads for yourself, to match your jewellery, to match your outfit, to match your mood, and loads to give to other people. So let's get going with the materials first of all. And the great thing is you need very little. You need some Eslon beading cord, and that's Tex 210, and that's approximately 0.5mm in diameter. You need some charms. I've used 12 charms on each of mine, but you can use more or you can use fewer if you wish to. And I've used all the same on each one, but you can vary them. That's up to you. You need some sort of finding for the end so that you can clip it onto your bag. These are very useful. You might find some sort of key ring finding. You might be able to make something yourself out of wire. You also need some size 8 beads. You need 60 of these, so that's very little, that's less than a gram. And if you'd like to make them like mine, where I've got two types of bead, I've also used some 4mm beads, and you just need 20 of those. So they could be 4mm rounds. I'm using miracle beads here. They could be nice little gemstones or glass beads, or they could be size 6 seed beads. Or, to be honest, anything that you might have in your stash that kind of fits the theme and is around about that 4mm size. Alternatively, you can make these totally just in size 8 seed beads. This is made on the round disc, so I'm going to put those to one side now. It's made on the round disc, and what you need is 4 lengths of Eslon, and they need to be about 50 centimetres, which is about 20 inches. So 4 times 20 inches, 4 times 50 centimetres. And you need to gather them together. I'm not making things easy for myself by using my little spooky gloves, but I'm going to persevere with them. So just get them so they're all the same length, your 4 lengths, and then thread them through. So that was a little bit shorter there, pull that one a bit. Thread them through your finding, through the loop of your finding. Center the finding on the cords. So I'm finding the other end now. I'm keeping the two groups separate, centering it. Now I bring in my Kumihimo disc, put the finding in the middle, remembering that that's my center point, so I want to keep that right there. Just organizing my cords there, and because they can be a bit unruly, I'm going to keep my thumb on the bottom there. And now I'm going to position these top 4 cords in the slots with dots in the north, and this could be in the east or west. All the time keeping my thumb on those cords, so I don't want to pull them too hard because I'll lose that center point. Now I still need to be very careful I don't pull them through. I need to find each cord. So here we go. This is in this cord here, slot here, and I want them to be diagonally opposite on the disc. And note again, putting my thumb on that cord so it doesn't move. So here's the other top one, diagonally opposite. Here are the side ones. There we go. If, as you're doing this, you feel the cords move, you need to then just level them up again. Okay, so we've now got the finding hanging in the middle. And always remember, with Kumihimo, you get the best tension by keeping your disc level, by keeping your cords nice and tight on the face of the disc, by keeping the point of braiding, which is this bit in the middle, right in the middle of the whole of the disc, and level with the surface of the disc. And if you're using a weight, it must hang freely. Don't let it rest on the surface. So you can now, if you wish to, if you like to use a weight, you can attach your weight to the binding. And you're going to start braiding now. Now you're going to do a total of 16 moves, and it's the first ones you've got to be very careful with, because again the cords could slip right through the disc. So just braid in the normal way. Here we go. And again, I'm going to be very careful. These first ones I'm going to be gentle so I don't pull the cords out of the other side of the slot. And I don't want to pull so hard that I pull this finding across. So look how I'm using my thumb, top to bottom, bottom to top. Turn whichever way you generally do. And again, top to bottom, using my thumb, bottom to top. So I've done 4 moves now. And what you'll notice is it's sort of gripping hold of the finding, but it's quite open. So I'm going to carry on. I still need to be careful at this point. So I can go a little bit faster. My normal moves. Okay, now that I've done, or nearly done, there we go, that's the last one, that's my 8 moves. Now that I've done 8 moves, those cords are quite nicely fixed around the finding, but I'm still not finding it very neat. I want to bring them together. So now I'm going to use a little bit more pressure, a little bit more tension. I'm going to go top to bottom, bottom to top, and you should be seeing now how it's all coming together a little bit more. Top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. Don't actually recommend using gloves for braiding if you can avoid it, but I thought it would be fun for this. Top to bottom, bottom to top. Okay, so now if you look closely, the braid is forming quite nicely and neatly close together, and it's if we just turn it like that, you can see it's fixed very nicely around the finding. So now you can start to add your beads. So I'm going to bring in another disc to show you what beads I'm using for this. Now you could use different things, to be perfectly honest. You may well want to use something, do a design that you've taken from other parts of my channel. I've got some great designs, but for this I'm keeping it simple. 10 beads on each cord, 6 of the cords exactly the same. Here are my 10 beads, and I've just held them in place with the stop bead. And on 2 diagonally opposite cords, and it doesn't really matter which they are, but make sure they're diagonally opposite. So I've got top left and bottom right, 10 of your contrast bead. Now this video is not about beaded Kumihimo because it's a big subject, so I'm presuming people watching this know how to do beaded Kumihimo. If not, please watch one of my other videos because I've got so many useful tips that will really help you to be successful. What you need to do now, though, is braid in all of those beads so that you get to this position. So on this one, I have braided in all of my beads, and now I'm ready for the next part. So what I'm going to do is I need to braid for about 1/4 inch, and that's just a couple of centimeters, a couple of millimeters, about 3 millimeters, 4 millimeters, something like that. It's not precise, don't worry. You just need to braid enough so that you can tie a nice little knot really close to the beads, and you want your braid, the end of the braid, to be caught in that knot. So you're probably talking about 20 to 30 moves, maybe a bit more. So I'll just do a little bit more. It's not the most exciting thing to watch someone braid, but of course, as anyone who knows and loves braiding, it is a wonderfully rhythmic and soothing operation. Wonderful way to calm yourself down. So just going to do a few more. So I've got that couple of millimeters, 1/4 inch, 1/8 to 1/4 inch, something like that, just so I know that that end of that is enough braid to actually sit inside the knot that I'm going to tie. So I think I'm going to stop here. So that's actually 32 moves I think I've done there. So if we look here, I know it's hard because it's black, but you can just see a little bit of braid there after the beads. So now you've got to work quickly. You're going to take it off the disc, and you don't want it to unravel. That's why I'm saying work quickly. Now tie an overhand knot, and you want to, when you've tied that knot, you want to push it as close as possible to those beads. So an overhand knot is where you make a loop and you put all, now I'm going to just do that a bit bigger. This is going to be tricky with black gloves on. You get all your cords through the loop. I'm going to try one more time. There we go. And then, so while it's loose, I'm pushing it up, pushing it up, so that that knot sits, so I'm tightening and pushing at the same time, so that that knot sits really nice and closely to the beads. I'm going to pull it up, and now I'm going to pull on each cord individually, holding the knot, giving them a nice firm tug so that you get the neatest knot possible. If, when you've done this, you're not happy with your knot, do it again. Just undo it and do it again. So I think I'm reasonably happy with that. There we go, got a nice little knot there. Right, now it's time for the charms. So I've got some bat charms. I'm going to just have to use a pair of scissors to get those open. There we go. As I said before, you can use as many or as few as you like. But the trick here, to get this really nice jangly sort of tassel, is to do it in two. So take 2 cords. I'm just going to show one section. So take 2 cords. There we go, 2 cords. Now I'm going to take one charm, and I'm going to thread it onto one of those 2 cords. Either way, it doesn't matter. and bring it up to the top, and then I'm going to tie an overhand knot about 1 centimetre, which is just over 1/2 inch, away from my big knot here. This doesn't have to be precise, and in fact you want each cord to be a little bit different, each pair of cords to be a little bit different. So there's my overhand knot. I'm just going to pull it up a bit closer. There we go. So that traps that charm in that little section. Now I'm going to separate the cords again, pop the next one on. There we go. And then again, an overhand knot. And then I can just push it up to where I want. So that's trapped my second one then. And now I'm going to do a third one. So pop on my third charm. And tie an overhand knot. It doesn't seem to want to go. Sorry, I seem to have made a bit of a mess. I should have left a little bit more cord, because as you can see it is tricky dealing with gloves. I've actually only got one through, but that's going to be fine for now. So that then has trapped my last one. And then you continue like that with the other cords. So you've got another 6 cords there. And what you need to try to do is position your charms so that they are, on each set pair of cords, they're in a slightly different position. So you get a nice sort of cluster. And then at the very end, all you need to do is thread on a bead. This could be either one of your feature beads, as I've used here. It could be one of your smaller beads. Thread it onto both cords and knot it into position. And then just trim off the knots and seal that knot with glue. That is my final piece of advice, because if the knot comes undone, you will find that you haven't got enough cord to make another one. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you'll have fun with it, and I hope you can see the potential of it. This is just a bit of fun for Halloween with the gloves, but this technique has so much more potential. And also, it is a really nice talking point. So you'll find if you have one of these on your handbag, you're sure to get some attention. And the great thing about it is that from this, in this design, you can really see everything you need to be able to explain to people. You can see the cords you use for Kumihimo. You can see a little bit of plain braid at the end, and you can see how beautiful it looks when you get the beads on as well. So it is a really handy little design. If you've enjoyed it, and if you decide to make some of these, please do recommend this video to other people. It's only fair that we share the joy, and I think lots of people will have fun with this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click on the subscribe button, and then you will be sent an email when I have a new video to upload. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy future Halloween Prumihimo videos.